YouTube, what's going on? We're back with more of the First Descendant. We got Lepic out in the Void Abyss taking down the Ice Maiden. So I've got a crazy build here for you guys. We're rocking the increased efficiency and just using that with a lot of crit, hit rate to be able to take this boss down in 60 seconds, just over 60 seconds. I got a couple of my my better runs in here as a showcase run. Again, I just love this build because of the survivability and the ease of build. So it's just a fun build to go out there, rock it again, 60 seconds, and you're back out running this thing again. So all time stamped in there. You guys appreciate the content. You guys are liking the videos. Please feel free to turn on those notifications, sub to the channel, drop a like. Alright, this is my Lepic Increased Efficiency build because of its simplicity and because it's got respectable cooldowns. Is a great alternative for it. It's a very fun build. Again, I've been farming with this consistently and I enjoy it, so I hope you guys do too. And again, when it comes to the increased efficiency build, the most important thing to know is we want to keep our skill cost down because obviously we're consuming mana with it, but it consumes it on MP attack. So when we're attacking with our overkill, that's when it consumes MP, and then we recover MP when we're landing critical hits. So the lower we can get the skill cost, which is showing there now, obviously the more we can cycle the MP back in on the critical hit, because as you can see on critical hit chance, we get a 30% chance on critical hit to recover 20% of our max MP. So that's why critical hit is so important within this build, and that's pretty much the crux of how increased efficiency works. So if we shoot our, we can shoot our overkill infinitely because we're regenerating it through the MP through the critical hits, and again, we're not consuming MP until we fire it, so it's kind of like a controlled thing. It's a nice mechanic for sure. Again, this is the Mega Man build. This is all this is for people who are familiar with Lepic. It's just a Mega Man build, just kitted out to take out the Ice Maiden. When it comes to Reactor, burning mechanics Reactor, nothing special there. Fire skill, tech skill, skill critical hit damage, and attack on Colossus on the bottom rolls. I like to run this with a 2-piece Ascending Armory and a 2-piece Enlightened Mage. Again, the 2-piece Ascending Armory gives us the, again, reduced skill cost for our overkill shots. And the Enlightened Mage, again, just raw skill power at 6%. I like to run this with the kind of split that you're seeing there now, with the Ascending Armory, with the auxiliary power, and the processor, just because it has the max HP. The whole set does, to be honest. But the better 2-piece set, at least for me, is the is the sensor and the memory, because it rolls with defense and max HP. When it comes to the cores, again, max HP and defense for all 4. That's what I roll with my cores. Again, when it comes to the rules, we want anything that we can recoup MP, recoup HP, shield recovery, increased MP, stuff like that. Again, only chill resistance is the element that we would want on here. So, you know, again, electric resistance is not so great. Defense is great. We would want, again, some type of HP recovery modifier or something like that to help benefit us, you know, in the battle. MP recovery in combat, max MP, fantastic. And again, we've got, you know, MP recovery out of combat. Again, that does help when we're in a little bit of trouble, but not, you know, so much. Fire resistance not doing anything for us, but again, there is a max HP roll that you can get with the auxiliary power. So that's kind of what you'd be shooting for. 7,400 hit points, 42,000 defense, very cushy. Really don't go down too much or die too much in this. You're definitely able to clear it consistently. It's not a matter of, you know, dying out and not being able to farm them. That has not happened with this build. So very cushy on the survivability. Arche Tuning, this is what I like to run with. Again, we're into the skill critical hit damage, skill cost, range, power, Colossus damage, all that good stuff. Capstoning it with the Fire Chain Catalyst as the mutant slot that I use. When it comes to the Inversion Reinforcement, again, we run this with the survival, selective neurostimulism for you know, regeneration of mana. Works well with our fellow that also recoups mana at 45 seconds, so there's a nice synergy there. And I'd like to run this with the focus boost. Again, ads do pop up, we kill them, more skill cost reduction. You can run this with the adrenaline surge if you wanted to, for increased movement speed, whatever works for you. And this is the fellow. Again, MP every 45 seconds, 16%. Descendant module. Run this with the cyclic amplifier. Again, we run this with the cyclic amplifier. It will rotate into the tech one. That gives us an additional 39% damage. Again, you don't have to do anything crazy for this to proc. It'll just come up naturally within the battle. And again, we can talk about the overclock and what that does to it, and the gains that you can get out of it at the you know, detriment of your skill cost going through the roof. But again, you get the increased skill, the increased tech skill power when this particular icon comes up for 5-second duration, and then you'll have to wait for it to cycle through the other ones, and it'll come back around, and you'll be able to again utilize that for 5 seconds when it does roll around. We run this in, you know, synergy with the cyclic amplification acceleration. Again, when the tech one rolls around for the arcade type, when landing a tech skill, again, we get to add additional skill power at 45% for 5 seconds. So just a nice little synergy between the trigger and the arcade tech module that I like to run with it. Again, we went over increased efficiency, what it does, you know, the benefit of keeping the MP cost down. Again, how we're regenerating our MP on the critical hits. This is all important. Just showed you that we were at max, you know, critical hit rate with an extremely high critical hit damage that we can continue to improve on. So the more critical hits we do, at least we're getting that nice MP recovery. That's how we're able to just spam it and keep going. Now when it comes to the overclock, I don't utilize this, or I don't have a good showing when I do use this. It's the skill cost. As you can see, there's a 70% increase. The skill critical damage is huge. That's what we would want. And on top of that, it applies the burn effect, which is, you know, which is really nice as well. But again, the skill cost is what pulls this down. I haven't been able to do it with it, but again, if you're looking to do this, if you're able to do it and your crits are all landing and you're getting that, that recoup of that, chance to recover MP on 30%, and you're able to click that faster than 30, you're getting a little bit lucky, you might be able to pop this and be able to finish them off quicker. So that's an option that's out there. And again, there's gains within our ancestor module and critical hit damage, we can go for it. But the skill the skill cost when you pop your overkill, which is now overconsumption, is it's a little bit hard to take. On that one. So just keep that in mind. That's why you don't see me pop it in this video, or or I don't really pop it too much, because it's not, it's just not something that's consistent, right? It's all about consistency, always about the consistency. And again, I like the simplicity of this build. The modules are pretty straightforward. Again, you got your, mid-air maneuvering. Went over the cyclic amplification. We'll go over the ancestor in a second, but you got your 4 crit mods, skill insight, skill concentration, emergency measures, and frontline. We've got this with maximized power. Again, the skill cooldown is not really something you need to worry about, because our overkill is up the whole time. But the other thing that's nice with this, and again, if it happens to you, this build is forgiving. 15-second cooldown might sound bananas to have to wait for that. The fact that you can survive it and the 15 seconds does feel like it goes by, you can re-engage, re-get this thing back up and running and humming again, still finish off the boss. And again, it's not a wasted run or just dying, having to re-queue in and all that shit. So we got our maximized power, again, taking advantage of the skill power modifier, and I like to couple that with a fire specialist. You can change this out for maximized skill. Again, I like to do that when I'm running with the wall crusher, but the fire does more damage against the Ice Maiden. And we cap this all off again with our 2 skill cost reduction mods. Again, we want to keep the shots on this down as low as we possibly can. Ancestor module, this is where we get our gains. This is a great kind of roll. I wish, I need the damage to be in red. I need the skill critical hit damage to be in red, or the fire skill power boost ratio to be in red. We're good on the skill critical hit rate. You saw we're already at max at 100. But again, it just needs more damage to get it off the ground. That's what's struggling in my max damage build as well. I need something in red. I need something to take it over the top. And again, you have to do X, Y, and Z things to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the procs that go with it. So that's why I like this build. Very simple to put together. Again, the more critical hit rate you have, the better off you're going to be. But it doesn't really, matter too much. You'll be able to do it with lesser modules. Like the Mega Man build is not something that's new or anything like that to Lepic. This isn't a new type of build. It's just built to take down the Ice Maiden. When it comes to the weapon, I'm just running with an impact round with higher fire rate. I like to use the Malevolent. You can use whatever gun you want to use. I recommend using a hand cannon with higher fire rate, just so that your 4th ability Overkill just fires at the maximum speed that it possibly can fire out its orbs. So there's my cores. There's my rolls. I'm running this with the mag build. Again, at the end of it all, it's not the weapon, it's the overkill that's doing it. That's my build. Hope you guys enjoy it.